If you've been watching the Real Housewives franchise, you're probably familiar with the glamorous lives of these women. But behind the glitz and the drama, some of the stars have found themselves tangled in legal trouble, leading to time behind bars. Today, we're diving into the wild world of Real Housewives arrests and the shocking stories behind them. From fraud to protests, these women have had some serious run-ins with the law. Let's get into it. First up, we have Teresa Giudice from the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Like, are you serious? Like, who writes that?
The old Teresa would call her and be like, bitch. But no, the new Teresa,
who kicked off our list with one of the most infamous scandals in the history of the franchise. In 2014, Teresa and her then-husband, Joe Giudice, were sentenced after pleading guilty to 41 counts of fraud, including mail fraud, wire fraud, and bankruptcy fraud. The charges were severe enough that both ended up serving time in jail. Teresa was sentenced to 15 months, although she served only 11, while Joe was handed a 41-month sentence. The couple's financial mismanagement didn't end there. Joe also admitted to failing to pay nearly $200,000 in taxes. After serving his time, Joe was taken into ICE custody and eventually deported to Italy. Teresa, however, moved on and rebuilt her life, returning to reality TV as a stronger version of herself. Her story became a major talking point, reminding fans that even the richest can fall victim to bad decisions. Next, we have Kim Richards from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
They're like, Kim, Paris, and Paris looked over at me like, who are you? And I'm like, they're like, Paris.
Kim's legal troubles began in 2015 when she was arrested for public intoxication, trespassing, and resisting an officer at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Her troubles didn't end there. Just a few months later, she was caught shoplifting from Target in San Fernando Valley, allegedly walking out with $600 worth of merchandise. Kim spent one night in jail and later pleaded no contest to both charges, resulting in probation. Despite avoiding jail time, Kim spent years in and out of rehab, dealing with personal struggles. It was a long road to recovery, and her experience was an example of how addiction can spiral out of control, even for a beloved reality star.
Totally not for real. My mother is a freak. She was in town and she loves to do things like that. But like it wasn't real.
Tinsley Mortimer from the Real Housewives of New York City also made headlines for a more unusual reason. In 2016, before joining the show, Tinsley was arrested for trespassing at the Palm Beach home of her ex-boyfriend, Nico Fangel. She claimed she was simply trying to retrieve her purse, but things escalated, and she was taken into custody. Though the charges were eventually dropped, Tinsley's mugshot went viral, marking a bizarre chapter in her life. Looking back on it, Tinsley reflected, saying, "After that arrest, I felt like I hit rock bottom. So I figured, why not join Housewives? It was a comeback that many fans found entertaining, and she certainly made her mark on the show." Now we turn to the Countess herself, Luann de Lesseps from the Real Housewives of New York City.
Likes Ramona as a friend, but that's all. That's it. He wants to marry me.
Luann's legal saga began in December 2017 when she was arrested in Palm Beach, Florida for charges of battery, trespassing, and disorderly intoxication. The arrest made headlines as Luann's personal life, which had always been full of glamorous moments, suddenly turned into a real-life drama. After spending one night in jail, Luann entered rehab and later took a plea deal. Unfortunately, her troubles didn't end there. In 2019, Luann admitted to drinking again during her cabaret tour, which violated her probation. She was briefly ordered back to jail but managed to avoid serving more time through another plea deal. As part of the deal, she was required to undergo therapy, breathalyzer monitoring, and prescribed medication to manage alcoholism. Her story was one of redemption and learning from mistakes.
Just feeding the hungry only on Thanksgiving, it's an everyday situation. You know what I mean? This is 265 days a year.
Porsha Williams from the Real Housewives of Atlanta made headlines in 2020 when she was arrested while protesting the death of Breonna Taylor in Louisville. Porsha was one of 87 people arrested on charges of criminal trespassing and disorderly conduct. Although she didn't serve jail time for this incident, it wasn't her first brush with the law. Back in 2014, Porsha turned herself in after a physical altercation with Kenya Moore during a RHOA reunion special. She was charged with simple battery, but was released on $2,000 bail. Since then, Porsha has become a vocal activist, using her platform to speak out on issues important to her.
You guys, I'm gonna puke. You guys, I'm literally going to...
They're looking for Jen.
Jen Shah, the most high-profile arrest in recent Real Housewives history, has undoubtedly left a lasting impact on the franchise. In March 2021, Jen Shah, along with her assistant Stuart Smith, was arrested for being involved in a telemarketing fraud scheme targeting elderly victims across the US. They were charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. Jen initially pleaded not guilty, but later changed her plea to guilty in 2022, which significantly reduced her sentence. In January 2023, she was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison, and after her sentence was reduced, she's now expected to be released in November 2026. This scandal shocked fans, and it remains one of the most talked about moments in Real Housewives history. Finally, we have Karen Huger from the Real Housewives of Potomac.
It's 5 rules of etiquette when attending a birthday party. Let's open it. Let's go through the rules.
In March 2024, Karen was involved in a serious car accident and was charged with DUI, DWI, and negligent driving. After being found guilty on nearly all counts in December 2024, she was sentenced to 2 years in jail, with 1 year suspended. Karen's fall from grace shocked fans, especially considering her poised and classy public persona. This incident has left many wondering how it will affect her future in the Real Housewives universe. From lavish homes and private jets to courtrooms and jail cells, these Real Housewives have certainly lived a life of extremes. Their legal troubles show that even fame and fortune don't protect anyone from real-life consequences. Which of these arrests shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on your favorite reality stars and their dramatic journeys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.